Hey everyone, welcome back to Rooster's weekly video update. This week, Prime Minister Boris Johnson suggested he might announce on the 5th of April whether or not holidays abroad this summer will be possible. This is a week ahead of the date on which the government's Global Travel Task Force is due to report. New legislation that will be in place until the 30th of June means that international travel from the UK is illegal without an essential reason. The government could decide to end it earlier, but in the meantime, anyone caught attempting to travel abroad without an official exemption from next week can be fined up to £5,000. Pubgoers could be asked to provide a vaccine certificate, Boris Johnson has told MPs, saying that that kind of practice for ensuring COVID safety will be up to individual publicans. A study commissioned by a consortium of airlines, airports, and aviation industry bodies has concluded that COVID-19 testing could enable a safe restart of international travel this summer while limiting the risks posed by variants as opposed to continued lockdowns and travel bans. The global travel and tourism sector suffered a loss of almost $4.5 trillion last year due to the devastating impact of COVID-19. More than 62 million jobs were lost, representing a year-on-year drop of 18.5%, leaving just 272 million employed across the industry globally. Boris Johnson warned that things are looking difficult on the continent when he was questioned by MPs on Wednesday on the prospects of holidays abroad this summer following rising levels of COVID throughout Europe. And The Guardian has published a list of travel trends following a year of lockdown in the UK, so you can find that link in the article. TUI has also reduced its capacity for this summer from 80% to 75% of 2019's level, with summer bookings appearing to have stalled. Meanwhile, Ryanair plans to operate 80% of its normal UK capacity during the summer 2021 peak. Kuoni is relaunching their flexible booking pledge amid travel uncertainty. Flex Plus allows holidays to be cancelled or changed up to 10 days before long-haul flights and up to 21 days before European trips for any reason. Over in social, Facebook has cracked down on a group of hackers from China known as Evil Eye, because apparently we grew up on the same Western spy movies. That's been targeting Uyghurs from Xinjiang who are now living abroad. The group distributed links to malware that allowed for device surveillance outside of China. This is exactly the kind of data security threat that brought TikTok to the edge of extinction in the US last year, but the Biden administration hasn't flagged any kind of follow-up. Related, Facebook's also announced stricter rules for groups, which can include up to a Facebook-wide ban for members who have repeatedly violated the group terms across multiple groups or even in an individual group. As Clubhouse and Twitter Spaces continue to grow, Facebook is also looking to launch their own audio-only rooms to capitalize on the social audio trend. Twitter Spaces are set to be open to all users in April, and Clubhouse is still supporting a few top-tier creators, though they have said this week that Clubhouse's Android rollout is still a few months away, although they are looking to do away with the invite-only scheme soon. Facebook's also testing a new green screen option for Facebook Stories. This basically already exists on Instagram and TikTok. Twitter's also working on a similar feature that lets you share tweets to fleets with a custom background image. Meanwhile, Instagram is apparently working on a separate kid-friendly version of the app. We're going to call it Kidstagram for a little while. Users under 13 aren't allowed to sign up to the parent app, if they're being honest, but apparently so many kids try to join that the Instagram head considers building a separate version of a workable solution. Last week, they did launch new tools to better protect younger users, but as Social Media Today notes, perhaps the fact that the app needs to do so much to keep kids safe means that maybe a separate kids-only version won't necessarily solve for all bullying harassment. Instagram's also announced that stories drafts are coming soon, so rather than just having to discard your stories and start all over when you need a little bit more, you can just pull your story back from a draft, which is quite nice. Over on other apps outside of the Facebook umbrella, Twitter is working on a Reddit-style upvote and downvote system, but with emojis instead of simple arrows. Other platforms like Facebook have tried emulating upvoting and downvoting a few times, but it never seems to stick elsewhere other than Reddit, where it is the core engagement mechanic. Changes to Twitter's engagement hooks aren't generally well received, like when they changed hearting to liking, but they are rolling out tons and tons of new features as we've been covering for the last few weeks, probably just to see what sticks, so stay tuned. And as Twitter continues to grapple with the fallout of Trump's presidency on the platform, they're taking public feedback on policy approaches to public figures' tweets. Twitter's also working on a dedicated tab for Spaces so that you can find interesting public conversations in an area that's allocated for their discovery. At the moment, they just appear in fleets as like a little blue bubble, but as Clubhouse remains a killer app and as it looks like they are a little bit slow to get started, with Twitter really focusing on an Android rollout for Spaces, expect to see them sort of really capitalize even faster than Facebook. That's all from us this week. Don't forget you can read the rest of the article at the link as always, and stay tuned next week for even more. Thanks.